Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Oris Aquis Date. You can see and purchase this Oris Aquis Date dive watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop that don't include my wrist, and of course our complete pricing details for the sale of this Oris Aquis Date dive watch. Now, Oris is one of the watch companies that offers a competitive product both in specification and price in virtually every segment for which they have a competing model. There are some companies that have one or two true icons, and they're competitive in that class, but once you go outside that core collection, they struggle. With Oris, their models, led by Pilot and Dive watches, are literally among the best choices, price irrespective, in each class, and the Aquis is a great example of that. 43mm across the round of the case, not inclusive of crown guard or crown. This might overwhelm a smaller wrist had it come from any other manufacturer, but Oris did its homework, and this is a 43 that wears downright compact. If you can wear a 40mm contemporary Rolex Submariner on your wrist, you can wear this 43mm Oris Aquis Date. Now, it is substantial, and you can see that from lug to lug, the watch works its magic, because while the case is robustly built, it is not excessively broad across my 16cm circumference wrist. You can see it's actually 50.5mm from lug to lug. That works incredibly well on a smaller wrist, even as the watch has the volume and the persona to hold its own against a tree trunk forearm. Now, I would say down to 14cm circumference, you can be able to wear this watch with security, style, and a good appearance of proportion. It's reasonably thin too, at only 13mm thick. It's 1mm thicker than a Rolex Submariner, but it has a little bit of slope to its knurled bezel that will allow it to slide underneath most tighter sleeves and formal cuffs, and with a combination of black dial, black ceramic bezel insert, and a mostly satin-finished, subdued stainless steel case, this is a versatile watch that can be worn with a business suit or a bathing suit. Now let's take a look at those lugs and the strap, because they are an important part of the ergonomic equation here. We'll get to the clasp, which is a superb piece, but let's talk about how the watch is actually attached to the strap. First of all, you can see it's held on by screws, not spring bars. This is how every sports watch should be made. Why use a spindly spring bar when you can use a robust transverse beam held in by screws, threaded in and secured? It's also beautifully integrated into the lugs. As you can see, the strap actually fits the contours of the case nicely. It's an incredibly integrated look with very little daylight, if any, showing between case and strap, and yet there's no constraint on the movement of the strap. It doesn't press itself against the case flank and flare like so many straps that close that gap. So it's aesthetically superb, but it's also ergonomically sound. Now, the strap is a wonderful piece. You can see on the top it tapers, and it features a central spline with relieved Oris logo to give it definition. On the underside, it features relieved portions at the anchor point with the lugs to allow moisture, sweat, grit, heat, and oil to escape the wrist on a hot day, and you can see that's on both sides. The evacuated portion also reduces the mass of the strap, which allows it to be more pliant and flexible. It is very comfortable. A feature that I love here is that the clasp spares no expense to offer a full range of features. You can see by depressing these two outboard spring pins, I can slide the watch through 5 separate detents to size it or to adapt it to a dive suit. See how I can take in length or take out length? If you're going to give this watch as a gift, yes, you can cut the strap and there are demarcations for cutting it, but you only need to get close. The fine adjustment can be done with the internal quick adjust system, and the system does have detents, so it's not like an all or nothing flip out dive extension. Yes, you can use it over a dive suit, but you can also use it to take in or take out a little bit of slack during activity, inactivity, hot or cold weather. Twin triggers release the clasp, which you can see is nicely finished with a combination of polish and satin steel. It is substantial, it does inspire confidence, it's very nicely made, and as you can see, it features a minder system as well as a nice engine turning, so there's no need for minder loops anywhere on the strap. Excess strap length is simply tucked underneath the body of the clasp, and with twin triggers, this one closes and stays shut until you positively release it and you want it to open. Once again, Oris gives you security and a rather deluxe feature set for the price, or one might even say at any price. Now, the bezel is a wonderful piece. It has clear and positive detents. You feel them, you hear them. Align the luminescent index with the oversized leaf-style minute hand, and now you can time an interval from 0 to 60 minutes across the bezel. The bezel does have a ceramic insert, yet another impressive specification in this price range. The ceramic, effectively as scratch-resistant as the sapphire crystal, ensures that this typically high-wear component on a dive watch will remain fresh with long-wearing durability throughout the life of the watch. It also nicely matches the matte black of the dial. The dial is a matte black with a slight granularity to it and high contrast white on black printing. All of the indices are applied, not printed. Once again, Oris is value and quality. All luminescent, like the hands at center. This is a very easy watch to read in low light, and there's a beautiful tapering from the plane of the dial down to the date disc. The window for the date at 6 o'clock actually features faceting. Aesthetically handsome, it's also low-key with a monotone date disc. Now you can adjust that date using the quick-set function of the movement. The movement is what Oris calls an Oris 733. It's a Sellita SW 200-1, so basically a 2824 made by Sellita. Bidirectional automatic winding with 26 joules, 38-hour power reserve. It features the quick-set system that I mentioned for the date, but it also features hacking seconds. So when you thread out the crown and you pull out the crown to extremity, it stops the seconds hand, and then you can synchronize the watch to a dive timer or simply an online atomic clock. The watch has exceptional water resistance, as the dial reveals, down to 300 meters or 30 bar. It is the complete package. Strap on this Oris Aquis Date this summer on our website.